A very good evening. This is the PNGTV Live News Bulletin. I'm Belinda Cora. Parliament resumed today with questions without notice from MPs surrounding continued relief efforts in the quake-affected areas. North Fly MP James Donald was first with a series of questions to Prime Minister Peter O'Neill regarding relief funds. Festus Maiganap with this report.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill, during the emergency parliament sit-in last week, gave a situation report on emergency response in the quake-affected areas, giving the balance of 59 million kina in the disaster relief account, with an added 50.2 million kina expected from commitments made by development partners and donor agencies. When Parliament resumed after 2 p.m. today, the North Fly MP was quick with a series of questions to the Prime Minister regarding funding in the relief exercise. Western Province, particularly for those living along the Fly River, have felt the aftermath of the quake through debris and sediments from the Fly River and its tributaries.
Can you now give a report on how much money your government has already contributed and how much into the future for relief work? This is excluding restoration work. Question number 2. Of the 50 million contributed by OTML, none of it was spent on Western Province. Where the money came from, why?
In response, Prime Minister O'Neill said the government had already released 20 million kina to districts affected in the quake, funding that will go towards relief efforts for respective administrations. In terms of restoration to infrastructure, O'Neill said the extent of damage was severe and would take years to fix. He said government has committed 400 million kina in the next 4 years to go towards restoration exercise.
It does not require politics to be politicized so that our suffering of our people have been undermined by a political process. Mr. Speaker, let me say that we are, in fact, today got a report from the Ella province for the first time. The infrastructure that has been destroyed, that has been costed by experts who are already on the ground, well over 200 million kina. That is the lower end of the figures, Mr. Speaker. So when we're talking about only one province affected, that's without even the roads.
In the headwaters, we lost 3 lives.
Meanwhile, Karuku-Hiri MP Peter Isoaimo also brought to Parliament's attention recent flooding in the Karuku area of the district, asking Finance Minister James Marape when the first batch of DSIP funds would be made available so MPs could utilize in relief efforts similar to those in the quake-affected areas.
We are in the process of finalizing the first installment of DSIP this week. And late this week and early next week, there will be some DSIPs being rolled out to all districts, for all districts to participate in the district work programs. So when that does come to pass, like always, we will certainly give to all districts the district funds and as well as the provincial funds.
Festus Maiganap, PNGTV Live.
Food security issues are currently a concern in quake-affected areas of Western Province. This is according to Controller of the Emergency Disaster Relief Coordination Team, Dr. Bill Hamblin, when giving an update on general relief operations since the February 26th earthquake. Kalian Tanda with more.
Dr. Hamblin reported that relief activities in Western Province are scaling up due to water pollution coming down the Fly River, killing all the fish and making sago unusable. He stated that if people can't get sago and fish, then they must get food and water relief supplies. Hamblin deems it as a matter of urgency at this point for the people along the Fly River and highlighted that it is a developing situation and could get worse. He will be flying into the province on Wednesday to assess the situation on ground. In other relief efforts, the controller stated that Southern Highlands had trucks going through to Mendi with 400 polytanks, each with a 9,000-litre capacity, which will go to the most affected areas in the Highlands that need water and also for Kikori and parts of Western Province. In addressing the need for clean and safe drinking water, 5 water purifiers from Japan have been bought at a cost of $60,000 US each. These will be used in major areas where people are congregating in larger numbers, as more can't be bought due to its high cost. Kalagantanda, PNGTV Live.
The lack of attention given to road work and maintenance in the nation's capital on major road networks, including some of the city's oldest streets, has left residents and taxpayers frustrated. They say even the drainage system in NCD needs urgent attention. PNGTV News visited the Vai Avenue and Hono Place at East Boroko to find out what you had to say. Drivers making the turn to Vai Avenue at East Boroko need to be a bit more careful as this long-time stretch of road deals with large potholes in recent weeks. During heavy downpour, a few vehicles unknowingly end up stuck or damaged. Along Vai Avenue is Hono Place. The road condition has not improved according to long-time residents. One long-time resident says he moved into the street as a young lance officer in 1981 when the street was at its best. Today it remains a sad case.
I think we've been overlooked. There have been many maintenance roads within the city, and this is right within Boroko. And within the East Boroko, there have been lots of maintenance in the residential areas that you may have seen around. But with this section, there's not been a visit from the government authorities, especially the NCDC.
I think they need to commit some funds into getting this street maintained. For the last how many 13, 14 years I've lived in the street, I think there hasn't been any maintenance done.
Rin sa bagarapim na all warasa pull up to na isla roadi no now stop long time yet he come now na me plus still waiting all line well by come fix him looks avelo isla whatever road but no one plan looks avelo isla road.
Whenever it rains sa flood some blow houses inside lol banish start tam lol ground as well. So kata waraka sa one way go inside because all drain to all block number some block ground go leak.
Na drainage to sa block na time sun time sa smell na houses inside lo mo sa kisimba blo smell blo drains.
The condition of Hono Place here at East Boroko is the same with other parts of the city. As roadworks begin on main roads, the stretch and network of other roads still remain the same. The taxpayers here are asking, where have all the millions for DSIPs and PSIPs been put to, and if their priorities are right? Oil searchers today advised that the central processing facility, which was shut down following the 7.5 magnitude earthquake on the 26th of February, has resumed operations and oil production has commenced from a number of Kutubu oil wells at an initial rate of 4,000 barrels of oil per day. This follows a detailed assessment of all oil search operated infrastructure, including the processing equipment, storage tanks and flow lines at the central processing facility and other minor remedial work to ensure the facility's integrity. Florida Gulaseni with this update.
Oil Search stated in a release today that now that the facility is operational, oil production from the Kutubu complex fields is expected to be brought back online progressively during April. The Oil Search operated condensate handling facilities at the CPF and liquids export pipeline, which are integral to the operation of the PNG LNG project, are also ready to receive, store and export condensate once the project recommences gas production. Rehabilitation work to restore the Oil Search operated Ridge camp to support the return of production personnel to the central processing and Agogo facilities remains ongoing. Revised 2018 guidance for production as well as operation and capital costs will be provided when Oil Search reports its 2018 first quarter results on the 17th of April 2018. Managing Director Peter Borton says the resumption of safe, reliable and sustainable operations in Papua New Guinea remains a key priority for Oil Search. He says the recommencement of operations at the facility and oil production at Kutubu just over a month after after the main earthquake struck, a testament not only to be the robustness of the facility, but also the remarkable efforts of oil search personnel in the field who continue to address the challenge of restoring camps and production. To date, oil search has delivered more than 200 tons of food and supplies reaching over 200,000 people, mostly within remote villages, delivered almost 100 health center kits, and has undertaken more than 1,400 medical treatment cases, including over 55 medical evacuations. Florida Gulaseni, PNGTV Live.
You're watching PNGTV Live News Bulletin. More after these messages. Welcome back. You're watching PNGTV Live News Bulletin. Leader of Opposition Patrick Pruaitch has today called on Prime Minister Peter O'Neill to advise on the level of preparedness for potential destruction to homes and infrastructure caused by earthquakes, tsunami and volcanic activities in the New Guinea Islands region. He says in the last 48 hours there have been 12 earthquakes in the region, measuring from 4 to 7 on the Richter scale. Florida Gulaseni with this update.
The New Guinea Islands region is known to be far more volatile than the Highlands, and so the opposition is now questioning if our disaster management services have an adequate response plan. The opposition is now calling for 3 main actions, which includes an immediate briefing from the Office of Disaster Management on current relief efforts for affected provinces of Hela, Southern Highlands and Western Province to all members of Parliament, and the immediate tabling of expenditure report to all members of Parliament, and the immediate tabling of expenditure report for earthquake relief in versions uploaded online for all interested parties to view. The opposition leader says, and I quote, "Let's not be caught off guard again. More and more lives are being lost daily because of our lack of preparedness," unquote. The member for Rabaul, Dr. Alan Marat, is calling for other New Guinea Islands MPs to stand firm and demand action on the plan of government. Dr. Marat says many of the island's people may be used to living with tremors, but the frequency and harshness of the latest string of quakes in our region require close monitoring. The Rabaul MP is further calling on the New Guinea Islands MPs to put aside differences and request with him the tabling of this vital plan for the region. Florida Gulaseni, PNGTV Live.
With the Easter hype still around Lae City and with a new month on site, the 1st of April saw an armed robbery around 9:30 a.m. in downtown Lae. Lae Police Boss Anthony Wagambi Jr. confirmed that an Asian shop owner was held up at gunpoint by 5 armed, fearless men who put at risk the lives of many who paid visit to the scenario. Florida Gulaseni reports.
The Lae Police Unit were within the downtown area attending to a task close by when they were alerted by the gunshots fired by the suspects at the security guard of the Asian shop. The unit responded quickly and arrived at the scene, citing the suspects escaping in a sedan. All escape routes were immediately blocked off by the police units, resulting in a police vehicle being shot at. With the crowd on site, police could not fire back immediately, knowing in such situations that they are instructed not to endanger the lives of the public. Wagambi says the pursuing police vehicle that was shot at had one of the officers on board sustain a pellet wound. Police continued the chase, which headed downtown Lae through Airways Avenue to Chinatown, Bumbu Bridge, and ended up at the Busurum compound where the suspects were cornered. Police managed to have all avenues on foot covered when the suspects went on the run by foot, firing openly at police. Police returned fire, wounding one of the suspects on the left foot, apprehending him and having 2 factory-made shotguns, a homemade gun and live ammunition retrieved. Lae Police Boss confirmed that from the robbery, the Asian shop owner and his security guards sustained bullet wounds, with information of their conditions yet to be released. Meanwhile, Wagambi warned criminal gangs in Lae to stop such robberies that endanger the lives of many in an open area, and thanked God for the safety of his policemen and those who witnessed the dangerous act that may have cost the lives of many innocent people. He added that investigations will continue and PNGTV Live will keep you updated on this developing story. Florida Gulaseni, PNGTV Live.
Residents in Port Moresby deserve good, clean markets that are not only safe, but assisting many families to make ends meet. The new look Boroko Market, located in Moresby's northeast, is now serving residents of the suburb, including Moresby Northwest and the city as a whole, but there seems to be challenges that authorities need to look into. Security remains tight as it tries to deal with the demand to sell and buy. Since its opening in October last year, demand has increased and the parking spot has become quite small. The transport system needs urgent attention as well. The market sells some of the city's fresh fruits and vegetables, from fresh greens, potatoes, watermelons, pineapples, cucumber, carrot, bananas and cacao. Theresa Iva is not only a female security personnel at the market, she is also the women's rep and knows by heart issues that matter to these women who sell each day.
Wara one time mo sit down on top na Boroko Market. Ose na mipla looking mo say hino kupla so. Mipla like NCDC must come through na. Sanapi mouse blow mipla na put him piece na turning cement soul mama by sit down na salem kai blow.
There still remains challenges. Mothers who sell pay 2 kina gate fee each day to enter and close to 10 kina to secure a market space, which they feel is not enough. Susil Kasang sells fruits and tobacco. She says leaders of NCD need to look at opening more similar markets as space is becoming limited.
NCDC must try to look long. Walking one plan market mall feeding me all the must feed. Na nar plus something inside lo disla market lo Boroko. Otherwise market lo mibla nice pla market no got biget passing no got all passing no no come up. Security for me bla mibla nice tight security bla mibla good plus security service bla mibla.
She says more market shelters need to be built for mothers to sit comfortably even when it rains.
NCDC ting good na feeding sambla nar pla mo na houses bla mibla inside lo Boroko Market. Mibla mas good pla house. Na mipla masa good pla haplo sit down. Mipla got rain season mipla got plenty ground.
Lucy Maya is a former seller at the Old Gordon's Market. She has been dependent on this business for close to 30 years and says the new look Boroko Market is cleaner and safe for mothers.
Me like in bus must run. Bus route must run. 17 must come, 4 must come, 13, 16. Emma start kam lo Boroko. We emba stop. Good lo mipla mamas. Mipla les lo. Fight cross lo narpla na. Fire money to. Suppose all get the bus come inside. One day I get by finish.
You're watching PNGTV Live News Bulletin. More after these messages. Welcome back. You're watching PNGTV Live News Bulletin. Following the 26 February massive earthquake in the Highlands region, which has so far claimed 160 lives, many continue to pose the question for an independent inquiry into what could have been the possible cause of such an earthquake in the Highlands region.
In our lifetime, there's never been an earthquake, but
Member for Tari-Pori, James Marape, wants an independent inquiry into whether this earthquake was triggered by human action or is completely natural. He was answering questions by PNGTV News during a recent press conference about the leader's stance on the quake of such magnitude.
A couple of reports that has come out indicate to us that it's natural. But as you know, I represent my people's view on the ground, so they were all raising their concerns, so I absorbed all their concerns into me, and I became the outlet in getting their concerns out for independent report to come out. And our provincial governor has taken custody of this one.
Mr. Marape says he has spoken to experts about the history of the area and the quake.
Last time it took place up in the highlands of Papua New Guinea, especially from where I come from, about 70, 80 years ago. Some elderly guys confirmed to me that there was big earthquakes before, But the difference was that this one, there's so many after shocks that took place. Those earthquakes that happened, it was like once or twice, and that was it.
He says this inquiry will enable his people to finally be at peace as they remain anxious for answers as well.
I think the Hela people and the Hela provincial government has also voiced their views into looking into this one. At the later date, when the governor is ready to make those announcements, we'll certainly inform the media.
Mr. Marape has stressed that they will await a final decision on this inquiry by the Hela Governor Philip Undialo. The public prosecutor has been locked out of its office over non-payment of areas on level 4 of Tisa House in Waigani. Chains and locks were placed on the main entrance over the long weekend. However, Finance Secretary Dr. Ken Nangan says ample funds are available and is confident the matter should be resolved by today. Kalian Tanda reports.
The office of the public prosecutor on level 4 of Tisa House was found to be chained and padlocked today by the landlords, Strickland Real Estate, acting on behalf of the owners, Teacher Savings and Loan Society Limited. The notice posted above the chains stated that due to the non-payment of rent resulting in significant areas, had therefore prompted the locking out of the public prosecutor's office. Finance Secretary Dr. Ken Nangan, in responding, gave assurance that checks for payments are ready, but landlords were arguing about the carryover from last year. Dr. Nangan stressed that the government already has an appropriation in this year's budget to sort out the rentals of government entities. The Finance Secretary stated that the Government Office Allocations Committee was currently negotiating with many property owners to resolve outstanding payments over the next few months, in which they were agreeing to a repayment schedule to settle the outstanding. He stated that the property owners knew this, and therefore he failed to understand why they were locking out government offices. He claimed that the lockout was just the action of one or two landlords. Nangan confirmed that the government had allocated 75 million kina for last year and 230 million kina for this year's rentals alone, so money was sufficient and the current bills for this year are being paid. The Finance Secretary hoped to get the public prosecutor back in their office by today. Kalagantanda, PNGTV Live.
And finally, to some sporting news. Louise Martin, president of the Commonwealth Games Federation, presented Sir John Dawanikura with honorary lifetime membership of the Federation at the Federation's annual general meeting or assembly on the Gold Coast over the long Easter weekend. The award was warmly received by the delegates from the 71 Commonwealth countries represented. Florida Golaseni with this report.
John's award honored his long-term commitment to sport and the Commonwealth movement over 3 decades, including the creation of the PNG Commonwealth Games Association. The Commonwealth Games was the first multi-sports game that PNG attended, with Team PNG participating at the British Empire Games, the forerunner of the Commonwealth Games in Perth in 1962. Martin highlighted the role that Sir John has played in developing women in sport, both on the field and in administration. Alvita Rapila, Secretary General of the PNG Olympic Committee, and Tamzin Wadley, Chef de Mission, congratulated Sir John on his achievement. Sir John is currently the President of the PNG Olympic Committee since the year 2012. He is also the President of the PNG Weightlifting Federation since 2014, and he was also awarded the Oceania National Olympic Committee Merit Award and the Lifetime Achievement Award for the Pacific Games Council. Sir John represented Papua New Guinea at the South Pacific Games in 1966 to 1969. From 1984 to 2010, he was the Secretary General of the Papua New Guinea Olympic Committee. Florida Gulaseni, PNGTV Live.
And that's a PNGTV Live News Bulletin at 7 o'clock. More at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Join us then.